one of the things you will get me raving about Python as opposed to other languages is the len function. You see, in Java, we have this pesky problem. To figure out if I've got some kind of string and I want to figure out how big it is, I got to use the array.length function. Okay, but if I've got an array, let's say is stored in the variable r, and I want to know what the length of that array is, or how big that array is, or how many items are in. So this is how many characters are in the string, how many letters are in the string. If I want to know how many items are in this array, which is very similar to a list, it's just it's basically the basic building block for a list in a lot of programming languages. I got to use array.length to get the variable that has that value stored, and I better remember not to put any parentheses in it. But if I'm working with a collection, which are like sequences in Java, a collection is, well, collections are basically things that are also like sets or hash maps or linked lists or array lists, right? Any kind of collection in Java. I've got to use the let's say it's a list.size method with parentheses. And I feel like they just do that to troll beginners. I understand the reasoning behind it, kinda, looking at you, array.length. But, seriously, it's so frustrating. Python says, nope, we are going to use the length function. So let's go ahead and use the example banana from the textbook. Banana, the length of banana, right? Print the length of banana. One function to rule them all. It is simply a function that prints out the length of something. How many things are in this sequence, depending on what that sequence is. Right? There are 6 things in fruit. Okay? Now, hold on to your pants for a second. What happens if I do this? I added brackets there. What is the length of fruit? Pause. Seriously, you are very impatient. Why didn't you pause? Why do I even bother with that? Come on. All right, so what is going to come out? It is going to be 1, right? Because it is an item, because this is a list now with 1 item in it, which is banana. So this has 1 item in it. Similarly, apple, banana. Two things in it. Okay. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike from the Jim Henson Foundation. So let's go ahead and see. Well, those are Muppets, not Sesame Street. I have no idea what the corporate relationship between the two are. Anyway, let's go ahead and so this is really useful. Now, as the book points out, you might be. Let's go back to our original example, banana. Actually, no, I'm going to keep this. You might be tempted to get the last thing by going, hey, what is the last thing in fruit? Give me, print out the last thing in fruit, which would be fruit, len. I'm putting a lot of spaces there to make it a bit more readable for you. Len of fruit. Now, let's go ahead and evaluate this from inside, because this is a common kind of trolly thing they love to do on exams, which is, hey, why fruit? It's a fruitception. Okay. Anyway, so length of fruit. That is what? This is 2, right? Fruit has 2 items in it, so this will be replaced by 2. But 2 is out of bounds because this list only has 2 items in it. So you might be tempted to do that. You want to get the last thing, right? Then what you want to put in is length of fruit minus 1, which is also correspondingly why -1 happens to make sense for over here, because it's just shorthand for this annoying thing. So to get the last item in a list, of course, it would help if I actually put parentheses around that. But now to get into my other reason, which is my other reach over here. So let's go ahead and, now that we've got a handle on the fruit function, right? Sorry, fruit function. The length function. One take. Fruit. do this. All right, print length of fruit 0. What should this return? All right, think about it for a sec. Pause if you need more time. 3, 2, 1. It gives us 5. Length of fruit 0 is 5. Why? Because let's get what's fruit 0. Fruit 0 is apple. Hopefully a Honeycrisp variety. Those are tasty. Okay. Fruit 0 is apple. Evaluates to apple. What is the length of apple? 5. Boom. Okay. So you can get the length of things inside stuff if it is something you can grab the length of, right? If I were to try to get the length of 17, it's not really going to... ints don't have a length to them, which will be a source of frustration for you in some future programs, I'm sure. But let's go ahead and see. So we've got length of fruit 0, right? So if this doesn't make sense, think about it like this. Word is equal to fruit 0. We can always break that out into multiple things to make it more readable. Boom. Which, by the way, if I were to ask what the length of word 0 was, 1. Well, what is word 0? Two. A. Again, I'm going to introduce you to a concept way early just for first exposure purposes and then get into it a lot later in a lot more depth. So we got fruit 0 here. To grab apple, we stored it in word. Now word 0 is A, right? Because, right, this is apple. And this is index 0 of apple, so that gives us A. So now let's skip a step. Let's cut out the middleman here. Poor middleman, always getting the raw end of the deal. Word 1, 2. Oh boy, oh boy. I know some of you are panicking right now, but don't worry. This is just merely your first exposure to it. We will get to it later. Prediction time. Again, predictions, neither right nor... they can be right, but I don't care if it's wrong because you're just trying to guess. So, answer should be... Oh, word is not defined. Ugh. So good on you for those who caught it. Okay, let's try this again now. Fruit, apple, banana. Print 1, 2. Index 1, index 2? Okay. Well, let me tell you what this does. This first subscript refers to... So, first thing this does is that this resolves into banana. Fruit 1 is banana. It's always been banana. Has never not been banana. And then let's get what's at index 2 of banana. Which again, we can break out into multiple steps. That's useful to know. Okay. So, keep that in mind as we go through. I think that's enough on length and also stuff that is not length, which will probably be something along the titles of this video.